Hello everybody and welcome to this pick a card reading video. In this video we will be looking at what is draining your energy. You could feel drawn to more than one stack and that's completely fine. If so, you can listen to more than one stack if you feel called to do so. But as usual, we have 3 different piles here. We have pile 1A, 2B, and 3C. We are, for this, using the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. And then we have a tarot deck and another Oracle deck that we'll be using once we get into your reading. I haven't pulled those cards yet. These are just signifier cards, basically, for your, like, representing the energy of your pile. But yeah, if you need some more time to decide which one you feel the most drawn to, you can pause now, really intuitively feel and think about that. And other than that though, if you don't feel drawn to any of these, that's okay. I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos on my channel, as well as collective readings if you want to check those out. But if not, that's still okay. And now we will get into it. Hello 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. The card we have here is 20, Discernment, and it's got yellows, blues, and greens in it, so it could relate to those chakras as well. But it says the frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. So here's the thing. Here, let me move some of this over here. I gotta resituate my legs. Okay, here's the thing. I think if you've chosen this stack, you have, well, first of all, I have to say you've probably been through a lot in life, and if it's not you directly who's been impacted by things, I think the people who you love and care about have been impacted by certain things. Like if you think about mainly anything that could be made political, any social causes, anything that really has an impact on the collective, but also different minority groups or just a subset of people, I feel like you're a very big advocate. So if you've chosen this, you're like the advocate, where it just feels like, or the protester, right? You're somebody who cares deeply about the world. But that's, well, it's a good thing. It could also be a bad thing in terms of if you don't give yourself enough breaks, then it can break you down. So I could see that breaking you down mentally and emotionally, but even physically, I see it starting to potentially wear down on you, causing you fatigue and brain fog, because your sole purpose in life, you may feel like, is being an advocate for others and standing up for what's right. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do that, but it can be tainted by you not giving yourself enough time to relax. And you know, it makes me what I'm thinking of different causes right now, and a main thing that's popping up for me is no justice, no peace, which oftentimes that phrase is associated with the BLM movement. But it could be associated with anything, especially social causes. I feel like you might have that mentality where it's like, I cannot give myself time to rest or sleep, and I can't take a break, because if I take a break, it's less likely that I'm going to be able to push forward this progressive change or movement. And I just gotta say that's not correct. By taking care of yourself, you ultimately also are better able to take care of your neighbors, your friends, your family, and the collective as a whole. You're able to be more clear-minded, and also from you being in a place of having a bit more, I'm hearing you need more peace in your life. So from being able to be at peace and to be still, that will actually help you in the moments when you're not still, because you'll be able to differentiate. You'll be able to know what stillness is like versus what proactive change and action is like. So I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna pull other cards too now, but yeah, I don't even know what else there is left to say, because I think that's just the main thing. You all care so much about the world, but also because of the change that you want to see in the world, because of you putting yourself out there, educating yourself, taking action, because of all these things, it's making it hard for you to also, I'm seeing that it's also hard for you to separate, like, you know, you hear about separate work and personal life. I see you having it be difficult. It's difficult for you to separate your personal life versus the lives of others. And it's hard for you to separate politics out of your life. Even when you're in stillness, like, you can still think about things you want to change in the world sometimes, but there needs to be a point where you also think about other things. You don't want to be just one-minded and only think about, well, what can I do next for this? Think about what you can do now in this moment for yourself outside of these causes that you care about. Think about the things that make you happy outside of these things, such as, like, what are your hobbies and interests? Do you like, for some reason I'm seeing somebody create, like, what is it, what is it, not mosaic tiles, what is it though, glass stained art. I'm seeing that, but I see you doing something with your hands as it relates to the arts, or like your body movement. That could be very helpful for you. It doesn't have to be something you're good at either. It could just be something you enjoy doing. Okay, we are now pulling from the Secrets of Tarot deck. What other information do you have here, Spirit? What information about what, I feel like, okay, no. Oh, this one? Oh no, I feel like it's going to be one of those where a lot of them are going to want to, like, highlight for me. I feel like there's a lot of messages. Even though I feel like there's a main message here, I feel like there's a lot of mini messages that might end up coming through. We'll see. But what is causing the drainage, the draining energy? Also, I have an oracle deck over here. I don't even know if I'll end up using it. We'll see. I feel like this may be very briefly at the end, but what is causing the energy to be drained? Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is literally the activist. You're the activist. You want the change to happen. You know that the best way to have change happen is for you to take matters into your own hands, because it's like the mentality of, well, other people aren't doing it, other people aren't stepping up. But also, besides just that, it's you understanding it can't just take one person, so you want to add to the cause. So what's draining your energy? This is a card full of energy. It's a card full of leadership and charisma. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're somebody who helps educate others, or you're like a leader, somebody who's like not a higher up, but like somebody who really helps to organize for different events, for different protests, somebody who helps not provide lectures, but it's like that educational piece where you're very much a teacher. It's not just that you want to help guide people, even if it's not directly what you're saying, it's through your actions. But also, this is a very actionable card, but it's also, I gotta see you moving from place to place, like putting yourself where you need to be. This also can just relate to personal relationships in your life. It doesn't just have to be political or relating to social causes. It could be related to your personal life, or maybe you have friends and family, they're always going through it, and you're the first one to show up for them. You care so much, you care so deeply, and so you feel like you're the one who, you are honored that you are the one that is called upon to help in certain situations, or even just, simple everyday stuff. But you can't do everything, and you can't be everywhere all at once, all the time. So Spirit is saying to, like, sometimes the messaging I get for this kind of reading is pick and choose where you want to spend your energy. But it's not even, I feel like for you, that wouldn't be helpful for me to say, because you're like, well, I want to help. I'll just say the best thing you can do. I don't think you should care any less. Well, here's the way it comes across. Don't be anxious if you can't do something for somebody. Don't feel like you're a bad person. A lot of this is almost like, not projection, but maybe it relates to childhood, right? Where you were parentified, you always had to do stuff. Even if your peers didn't have to do these different things, you always had to be the one to show up and be there for people. And Spirit's like, again, take breaks. And if you can't do something, don't feel like you need to make up for it or overcompensate a different time because you couldn't be there at a different moment. It also makes me think, for example, like, how when people are, like, maybe a grandparent is dying, they're old, and then maybe everybody's able to show up at the nursing home except for you because you had to work. You couldn't take any more time off of work. And then they ended up passing away. You didn't get to say your final goodbyes. It's very much that kind of energy too, where maybe there's something in your past where you couldn't say goodbye. You couldn't show up in time or in the way you wanted to for something. Like something bad happened, and so you feel like now you need to be everywhere all the time. And Spirit's like, don't only rely on this one instance. You're a good person. You do good things. You've already completely compensated for what you've done. And I actually am getting a little bit emotional because it's like, I think also the energy here is that Spirit is so proud of you. Like your team is so proud of you. And like the progress you've made in life too, because maybe there's certain things you used to think were true and then your beliefs have changed to a more compassionate and wise, as it says here, place where even if you don't directly become impacted by something, like I said, it's like you see how it affects other people, and so you're just so highly empathetic and you're sensitive, but you're strong, and that's such a beautiful thing, but it can be very draining. When it's not a facade, I think this is how you are, but when you're like this all the time, that's not realistic. So just something to consider. Ooh, crying over here. Y'all got me crying. Because the energy is so good. It's so pure. See, look, 4 of Cups in reverse. You're not giving yourself enough time to rest. You're not giving yourself enough breaks. So get good sleep. I'm also hearing and seeing with these cups, like, make sure you hydrate. Even, like, for example, sometimes people say they really truly are so busy they can't really take breaks for things. This could even relate to your work too. But anyway, if that is truly the case, then you need to find ways to make up for that. So let's say you can't have a full meal, but you can have snacks, or you can at least take a break to go to the bathroom and to, some of y'all aren't going to the bathroom enough. That's a weird thing to say, but I'm seeing that. Also, you're not hydrating enough, or like, let's go back to what I was saying. Maybe you're always so busy. Find a way to bring like a protein shake to work, or make a smoothie, a protein smoothie, and bring it to work, put it in the fridge, have that for lunch, you know. Or not even just for lunch, but like throughout the day. You don't have to like get your hands dirty. Think of things maybe like, yeah, every once in a while you get up, you walk around, you have a snack, or you have a drink of something. Like there's things you can do even when you try to make excuses for why you need to keep going and going and going. Spirit's like, no, you shouldn't. But even if that is absolutely the case, there's still things you can do to mitigate some of the effects of fatigue or of not nurturing yourself well enough. Okay, I feel like going like this for the next one. It's not the bottom one, is it? This one? This one wants to come out. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so Spirit, part of what they're saying too is like, I mean, it's like I've already been saying, I just think there's a lot of things you want to do and a lot of ways you want to help people. But Spirit is saying you're already doing so much. You're already making so much progress. Don't worry about doing the most. You're already doing so much. You already are, for a lot of you, doing the most. So there's no need to push it. And there's a lot of goals that you have. And I think this is separate from just even how you are an advocate for others. This is also, I think, personally, like goals. I just think you're a very goal-oriented person, so you feel like you can't give up until this goal is reached. Spirit is saying you'll be able to reach goals. There's a lot of things you will accomplish in life and that you will do in life, so don't worry about the next thing. Like, don't even worry too much about the current thing you're doing. Try to find more enjoyment in what you are currently doing. I feel like this is the final one that wants to come out. And look at that. Knight of Wands and Page of Wands. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I don't even know what else there is to say. Take breaks where it's necessary. That will help. The message that's also coming through is you will feel re-energized, and you'll also come up with better solutions and ideas once you give yourself more time to rest. Spirit is not saying to stop what you're doing, just to pause. That's a good way to, don't think about, oh, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing anything right now. No, I'm pausing. I'm putting pause. I can go back to this thing at any point in time. This can relate to personal projects you want to accomplish too, or personal like mini goals. It's like, well, when you have the time to set aside for that, don't put so much pressure on it, and then just like do it. There's a need to be, like, there's such seriousness here. And while it's good to be serious for these things that are like energy-wise that are showing up for you, It's good to be serious, but it's also good to balance that out. Like, you know what's actually coming up? A good thing is to be more neutral about things. You're so impassioned. Even me saying be more neutral, I think your neutral state is everybody else's, like, very passionate or impassioned state. So just, I know you're not gonna like hearing this, just tone it down a little bit. You can still be passionate, but don't be like a martyr for your cause, is also the way this comes across. So also, yeah, I think a lot of you have that youthful energy. So right now you might have the energy into, like, I have the energy to do different things now, so I'm going to do it now. But if you completely drain your energy now, you won't have time, like, years down the line in the future. You'll be so burned out. So in order to prevent burnout, you need to slow it down a bit. Okay. Whew, I feel a lot of fieriness with this. Let's see. There's the karma cards. I'm gonna pull from here, but I don't really even know if there's anything. Oh, what's an area of life that maybe you can put more focus on that will help with the de-stress? Oh my god, no way. Because this is literally Sagittarius coded in Sagittarius energy. I knew it. Everything I've been talking about is Sagittarius energy. But yet here we are. So you know what this is though? Sagittarius can have two sides, where it's actionable, but it's also philosophical. And look, the wisdom of. So you and your highest ideals, the rules of, get it out to the world and resulting from the understanding of, insights to understand. So here's advice that Spirit has for you. I can't. This is so funny. I can't believe I pulled Sagittarius, because this is already so Sagittarius coded, but I understand what Spirit is saying. Instead of doing so much physically or doing so much, like, how do we even want to explain this without doing so much through your actions, through your words, through your teaching, through your reading, through your researching, without doing all that all the time? Something that Sagittarius does is also, Sagittarius, it's weird because Sagittarius is an escapist sign, but it's also very reflective. There's like duality in Sagittarius, even you see it here, but there's duality with Sagittarius in that, being escapist from certain things, but then being philosophical and reflective of other things. So something that Spirit is saying that will help preserve your energy is, instead of doing all the time, you can start to think. So this could maybe even indicate doing more researching and studying other than just going out in the physical world. This can indicate, instead of actually doing studying or researching, what you'll do is instead is to actually just sit there and think and contemplate. Because wisdom is having information. Like, there's a difference between being smart and being wise. Being smart is having information available to you at your disposal. But wisdom and being wise, that relates to you knowing what to do with that information. So how you can best serve yourself and others and the world as a whole, how you can do this is also by reflecting. So thinking about, why is it that I feel so strongly connected to this? Why is it that this is important? This information, I have it, and then just sit with it and be like, how do I feel about this information? Is there anything else, any missing pieces of information I'm missing that's connected to this information? How does it make me feel, and does this even relate to my own life? And if not, how does it relate to other people's lives? Like, yes, I have this information. It's almost like, you know, the saying, speaking before you think, or doing before you think. And I don't think that that's even the case for you all, but Spirit wants you to do more of that reflection. Because I think that will also help mitigate some of the anger that shows up here. You're so impassioned, but that can also translate to anger. So if you don't want to be as angry of a person, you want to be a little bit more chill, or at least more neutral or happy, right? The neutrality showing up. What you can do with that, the neutrality, yeah, and like the duality I was saying. So what you can do then is just sit with information. Sagittarius also loves to meditate, loves to find places of being isolated. And that's very Page of Wands energy too. Like the Knight of Wands helps others. Page of Wands kind of is just doing stuff for yourself. So I think for a lot of you, it would be helpful to go on like mini retreats or just have a lot of alone time to help you recharge. And also I'm seeing like you dispelling negative energy out of your body, and so then you get reinvigorated with this positive, helpful energy instead of just being angry 24/7. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense to me. I relate to y'all, but yeah. Hope you found this helpful and that you heed my advice. Otherwise, I'll keep up the good work. And yeah, but break, rest, reflect. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can like the video, you can subscribe, you can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe. I already said subscribe. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos and my other collective readings. You can check out my main ASMR channel and my secondary ASMR channel if you're into ASMR. Those are linked down below. But yeah, thank you so much, Winnie, and take care. Hello, to be and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So the card we have here for you, the signifier card, is 28 Gaia. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. So if you chose this pile, I just think in general, you're somebody who gets very overwhelmed very easily. And I think that's also because what drains your energy can relate to you comparing yourself to others, even comparing yourself to past versions of yourself, comparing yourself to who you wish you were. I think there's a lot of comparison that goes on here. And I think also it's just you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, where if something bad happens, I think you're very empathetic in that and sensitive in that you internalize the pain of the world. And I also just feel like there's a lot of hopelessness tied in here, so I think that also drains you. You don't have enough faith, so you're just like almost nihilistic is the way this comes across, where you're like, this is going bad, so that means I'm doing bad. It's like, if I have something small, it's like, well, I just had my doctor's appointment and my iron levels are low, so I have to start taking iron supplementation. And now that's ruining my whole month because now I have to start taking this medication that I don't want to take. It seems like when something bad happens, you internalize it. You're more likely to get sad more quickly, and also the way this comes across is feeling like the world is against you, like literally Gaia, Mother Earth. It's like you feel like, why does this have to happen to me? You get drained by any minor to major inconveniences or casualties that happen in your life. And so it's hard for you to recover. It's hard for you to feel safe in your environment because I think also what drains you is you always anticipate what the next bad thing is that's going to happen. And you feel like anything bad that's happening, it's just going to keep getting worse. It's hard for you to be optimistic. And it's easy for you to feel drained from that. I feel like I was gonna say more, but Spirit is wanting me to like just get into the cards, so we will do that. What information for why and how the energy is getting drained for pile 2? The energy is very different for this deck. It's very somber. I feel like a lot of you are also just very lethargic in general. I wouldn't be surprised if with Gaia it makes me think of like something that's inherent in your DNA. I wouldn't be surprised if what drains you is something going on physically. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anything. But maybe get your blood work checked is coming up for some of you, because that could help you to understand like what supplementation you actually do need to help with your fatigue or your brain fog. Or if you have hyperactivity such as ADD, ADHD, then maybe it would be good to find supplementation or find like a fidget toy. Find something that can help you to fine-tune your energy better instead of your energy being all over the place and your mind being all over the place. Oh, that's interesting. This is the first card I pulled for Stack 1A. So I was thinking maybe some of you do feel drawn to Stack 1A as well. But Knight of Wands is that energy of wanting to do things. So I think You know how this comes across, you know, I feel like there's a card that wants to be, wants to clarify. There's a card that wants to show up, and it's the bottom card, I think, that wants to clarify. Three of Wands, yeah. It's like, there's two different messages that are coming through here. I'm just gonna go like this. But basically, you could have the energy of, there's so much you want to do, but it's like, there's so much you want to do, but there's so little time. Oh, that's what I was going to say before, too, when I first pulled this, before I even started recording the videos for this whole video. That's the main message, actually, that I was getting, where it feels like there's so much you want to do, so much, but so little, what's the saying? So much to do, so little time. That very much feels like the energy for you all. And I think also that's because you drain your energy so much when, even if you have time to do something, then you build it up so much, you have so much anticipation built up around doing this thing that you procrastinate. And so then when it's time to actually get around to doing something, then it's like you have to rush through it, or you don't finish something in time, or whatever. But it feels like also with this energy specifically, you might not know exactly where you're headed in life. This card is about being able to look into the future, and it's about expansion. It's about having an understanding of where you'd like to be 5-10 years from now, right? And the Knight of Wands is here, so I feel like there's so much you want to do. Part of what's showing up here is that you're doing things now that maybe don't translate into what you want to have happen in the future. An example is maybe, you know, you're somebody who's single and you're like, I like being single, I don't want to date. And let's say you're like my age, you're around 27 and you're like, I want to be married and I want to be pregnant, or like my partner be pregnant by age 30, but you're not putting any effort in to actually do that. So maybe with the Knight of Wands, it's you saying, well, that in this kind of situation, it could indicate you either going on many dates but not wanting to commit or be serious about anything, or it could relate. I want to be surprised if some of y'all have commitment issues as well. Anyway, or it could relate to, like, maybe you're occupying your time with doing other things, like as a sole person or with your friends, and you don't want to do it with a romantic partner. It's like, okay, so you have this goal, but is it very realistic? So part of what needs to happen here is you get so drained because the expectations you have for yourself don't match reality, and so you just set yourself up to fail. And I think there probably is something related to childhood there, where it's like, this thing, oh gosh, how do you even want to explain it? I don't even know if there's any other way to explain it other than that, where it's like, oh god, where was he even at? Whoa, my mind got completely wiped. I think a lot of y'all relate to that too, probably. Again, hyperactivity. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of y'all have that in some capacity. But with this, it makes me think, yeah, having the world on your shoulders, you think so many different thoughts. There's so many things you want to do. It's almost like you just the things you cared about so much yesterday or the week prior, you completely forget about until maybe 6 months from now. And you're like, oh, I really still want to do this thing, but I still didn't do it. And then it's like, the more time goes on, you still haven't done it. And it's like, now I feel like a failure because I haven't actually done it and I keep forgetting about it. So I recommend writing down in your calendars. I think that will be helpful. I keep feeling like I want to pull from the bottom cards. Do I want to? If I look like that, would I want to keep pulling from the bottom cards? I'm going to just pull from the bottom. The Moon. Yeah, I think a lot of you also struggle with regulating your emotions. So, high highs, low lows. That one wants to come out. The Hanged Man in reverse. Yeah, that's the thing too. I think a lot of you, because you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, the Hanged Man in reverse also indicates that. It's saying you are not willing to let go of things in the past, and then it's like you're stuck in that past energy, but you're trying to move forward. But it's like, is it past energy, or is it current energy, or is it future energy? Is it something I want to tackle now, or should I leave it in the past? And so it's like there's this limbo where you don't know if it's like, should I stay or should I go? The last card, I think, is this top card, the Sun. We have the Moon in reverse and the Sun in reverse. Look, and all these cards are in reverse. So yeah, I think with it being in reverse too, Spirit is saying to flip your energy upright. I just think you're doing a lot of things like in the reverse. Not in the reverse order, but you're just doing things, I guess you could say, that don't make sense for what you're trying to accomplish here. And a lot of that could be helped by regulating your emotions or regulating by, like, don't have shame if you have to supplement for mental health or physical health, by the way. I know some people get nervous about doing that, or people are nervous like, oh, I'm gonna get addicted to certain things. I don't even know. But with you trying so many things, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of y'all have tried, like, you know what it makes me think of? Like all the different holistic or looks-centric modalities. Like, I'm thinking of looks max for some reason. I'm thinking of also, who's that guy that, he used to be a CEO of what is it, not MySpace, Venmo or PayPal? Brian Johnson, is that his name? And he injects the blood of his son into him, like he does a blood transfusion to try to, and he is focused on, what is it called? The reverse aging phenomenon. It makes me think of that, where maybe you try so many different things too. That's the thing. If you want to try different things, you can, but give more time to breathe. I see you trying one thing, not giving it enough time, and then disregarding it. Spirit is saying when you try something new or you try something different, give it time. It reminds me too of like when you take antibiotics, usually you have to take it for the full 2 weeks every day. And in your case, it could be maybe you skip every other day, or maybe you only take it for a week because you start to feel better. It's like, no, you need to do things in full and give it more time. But I think a lot of you struggle with getting through things fully. And again, must I mention the hyperactivity is showing up here? So that's why writing things down, writing things on a planner, and also giving yourself maybe a mini reward when you do something. So let's say you complete something within a time frame, and then you treat yourself, you go out to the grocery store and get your favorite pint of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? And then that makes you feel good. So you still see rewarding yourself with doing things that make you happy, or that like get you one step closer to your goals, is the way this comes across. But then also the way this comes across too is that maybe you also have, and this can coexist with what I was just saying for that messaging. What was I going to say? Oh my god. Before I was saying of trying, you could also be in the energy of trying something, and then you just stay doing that. Like, let's say you do something, you want to pick it up as a hobby. Let's say I say this example a lot, just, I don't know, it's easy, like knitting or sewing, and you start doing that and you like doing that and giving that as gifts for other people. But then let's say maybe there's a little bit of what's showing up here is the energy is related to not just hyperactivity, but like obsessiveness and compulsiveness. So maybe then you, like, at first when you start learning to sew, you do it every Sunday, and so then you still have done that. But let's say it's been years at this point, right? And you still like force yourself to sew every Sunday, even though there's other stuff you want to do on some Sundays. But you're like, no, I've set it in my mind, I have to do this, and if I don't do it, I'm like a bad person, or I'm unproductive, or I won't like sewing anymore. And so there's a lot of black and white thinking showing up here. So part of what's also showing up with Gaia, having a more outside point of view, like a bigger picture point of view. Things don't have to be reliant on one minuscule detail or mess up. We are humans, we are complex, and so is the world's, like Mother Earth is very complex. So you need to give yourself more grace, because I just think, you're so hard on yourself, and you feel like you need to be specific to certain things that you do, certain hobbies, interests, maintaining friendships. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if y'all have friends that you don't even like anymore, but you're just like, I've been friends with them, so I need to stay friends with them. So basically Spirit is saying part of what's draining your energy is like you're holding on to things that you don't need to hold on to anymore, you don't need to do anymore, and yet you're not giving enough time and space and energy to the things that would actually help you out in life, or things that would actually make you happy. Let's go into the oracle cards now. I feel like it's this one. The energy that you should embody more of that will help you. Interesting. I pulled this card for 1A as well. So it says, insights to understand the wisdom of, resulting from the understanding of, your highest ideals, the rules of, and get it out to the world in. And I think, yeah, the rules of reminds me of the rigidity you may have against yourself. Highest ideals are about the pressure you put on yourself to be perfect and to do things a certain way, and that will help you achieve perfection, achieve success, achieve abundance. Get it out to the world also reminds me of, yeah, like if you delay things because you feel like it's not perfect enough, you just put so much emphasis on things being a certain way. So Spirit is saying it's okay for things to be clunky, unorganized. Things don't always have to be perfect. Things don't always have to be cookie cutter, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It actually might be better when things are a little bit more rough around the edges and you present that to the world as opposed to not. Like, it reminds me of people who always wear makeup out in public. I don't know how often that's a thing as much nowadays, but when I was growing up, it was expected that girls and women, starting like in middle school even, but high school, college, like beyond, people, and in the workplace especially, were expected to wear, or I should say women or AFAB people were expected to wear makeup. And so it feels like even if you're, like, let's say somebody has a job in that kind of corporate world environment, and then they leave that and go somewhere else where it's a lot more laid back, and it's not like a dress code, whether it's written in the rules or it's just like expected for professionalism. But let's say this person goes somewhere else and then they still are wearing their makeup, and then somebody asks them one day, like, hey, have you ever missed a day? Like, I don't even know what you look like without your makeup on. I don't know what kind of, that would be a weird comment to make, but let's just say somebody says that to this person, hypothetically here. And then, let's say that person's you, and you're just like, well, because I have to. So there's things you feel like you have to do, and Spirit's like, you don't gotta do that. You don't have to have the world on your shoulders. And you don't have to, it's almost too, or some of you, from an authoritative figure, if they told you once you have to do something, you stick with that. And so it's like, there's some deconditioning that has to go on here. That's part of what needs to be let go of. There's things that you're still doing that aren't making you happy. So Spirit is saying, with Sagittarius showing up here, what you should do instead, well, insights to understand is important. Like, understand where your any conditioning comes from, any beliefs come from that are making you act a certain way. But resulting from the understanding of peace, insights to understand, it relates to you, yeah, just needing to do that deconditioning. And with understanding, there's also a need to have a better understanding of yourself. And also I'm hearing you need to have more fun. Like, look at this is in reverse. You need to have more fun. You need to play more. So you need to do things outside of your comfort zone. Specifically, Sagittarius is not afraid to explore and to do new things. So that's a big thing being highlighted for you that can help you. Even though you might think, wouldn't that drain my energy more? Not in the way that your energy is being drained now. Where it's like you don't want the life being sucked out of you. So it's like trying new things. At least you can be invigorated and saying, hey, I did that. It's something maybe I didn't even necessarily want to do, but it's something that I felt would expand my knowledge, or it would help me gain a better understanding of my peers. Like, these kinds of things will actually help you also be mentally stronger in the future, so you will be less drained when you have this mental strength from doing new things, because you don't put yourself inside of a box and think that you have to be a certain way forever, or think that you can only be one-dimensional. You are multi-dimensional. That was not like a heavy reading, but that was like more intense than I thought it would be, more deep. But I hope you enjoyed this and that this was helpful for you and insightful for you to be. You can like the video, you can subscribe, you can comment down below if you resonate with the stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there's anything else you would like to say or add or update your comment about and tell us about. You can check out my ASMR channels, those are linked down below. You can check out my other timeless pick a card readings and collective readings on this channel. Other than that though, thank you so much, TB. Bye-bye. Hello, 3C, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. We have here 18, Cosmic Flower. I love, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's beautiful. And it says, the frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. When I pulled this, I'm like, I feel like what drains your energy the most right now, at least at this point in time, is family. And I think for a lot of you, maybe, you know, for some, well, okay, maybe for some of you, family has always drained you, like your close relatives, as well as your, like, what do you call it, distant cousins or relatives, or like your partner's family. Like, maybe those people have always drained your energy and you've always recognized that, but you just like put up with it. For some of you, I think this is also, though, a newer revelation where you're like, oh, I didn't realize actually. Like, maybe you start going to therapy and you're like unpacking stuff and you're like, oh yeah, this is actually a lot to deal with. This is a lot for me to to handle. I'm getting almost like blank here because it feels like you know, sometimes people in social situations have that blank stare. It's like in one ear out the other, or you can just tell people aren't even like listening. People are kind of alone, just hearing other people talk. I think you probably don't get along with certain family members that maybe you should have better boundaries with. Maybe you don't even need to talk to them or see them anymore. And then for the people you love and care about, there just needs to be a better dynamic, is the way this comes across, whether that means better boundaries or whether that means like seeing people less. If you're somebody who is codependent with family members, then you see, I'm seeing that person. I was like at a family gathering, they're just like sitting there. I'm just hearing almost that you need to expand your horizons a bit. The energy that's coming across is so weird. I'm trying to decipher it. I think for most of you, this doesn't mean just completely like stop talking to all of your family members unless you really feel like that. Yeah, there just needs to be better boundaries. And with the codependency coming up, you may feel like your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother is your best friend. And so you feel like you need to see them a lot. But I'm seeing that because of any codependency that's showing up, whether on your end or somebody else's end, it's keeping people like a little bit small or stuck in a way. It's preventing you from being able to experience joy outside of the family relationships that you hold. And I think once you reevaluate your relationship with your existing family members, or what do you call it, like your partner's family, what is that called again? Not step, what is it called? Not half, what is it called? In-laws, there we go. So whether it's, you know what I'm hearing though? I don't even remember where I was going with that. It feels like a lot of you also maybe keep parts of yourself private or secret because you know that your family wouldn't be approving, but you want their acceptance and love so bad. So the being drained comes from you wanting to just be accepted and loved, but in a way, it's not in a way that's authentic to who you are. So Spirit is saying that for those of you who this relates to, if you're not fully being yourself, if you take a step back and maybe spend some less time with family members who would be judgmental of you, and instead spend more time, like alone time, but also time with people who you can meet or spend more time with outside of family who are accepting of you for being authentically you, I think it will help you to realize and put things into perspective about maybe how healthy your relationship dynamics are, and like if you're willing to any longer accept you not being fully who you are. Of course, a good example I can bring up is people being queer or non-binary and that, or trans, and that, like, these things as it relates to social identity, we can sometimes maybe with family members feel like we just don't have to, I just don't bring it up with them, or they just don't know, like they don't know. I just pretend like everything is the same as it was before. Think about how that's draining on you because you're not living truthfully in authenticity, and it's like being an actor 24/7 when you're around these people, but it's different because there's not a camera in your face telling you to do these lines or to improvise. This is your life. So that's just something where what's coming through. Spirit doesn't want for you to be a caricature of yourself or of your life just to please others. This mainly relates to family dynamics here. It could also relate to anybody, like roommates, you know, because home is here, or friends that you have. Maybe you've been friends with somebody for so long, they're basically like family to you. You've been friends 15 years, but then you finally come out to them as queer or as trans, and they aren't accepting of that, and you knew they wouldn't be. So that's something too, where think about safety here. And think about what are deal breakers. Is it a deal breaker if your friend or family isn't accepting of you as a queer person? You know what? This happens in the Midwest a lot. I'm from Minnesota, or originally from North Dakota. But what happens is you'll see people will be accepting, like if you come out to a coworker. I'm thinking of my mom. Hi, Mom, if you're listening. Where, you know, she's a lesbian. And when she came out in North Dakota to certain people, she, I think, was fearful of certain people she told being like, no, we don't accept you. For the most part, people were accepting enough, but of her. So it's like, in this kind of example, are you okay as long as people are accepting of you, even if it's not other queer people in that kind of example? Or are you somebody who's like, well, if I come out to this person and they say they don't think being gay is right, they think it's a sin, or they think it's just like not true. If they're like that to other people but not to me, is that a deal breaker where they're still like that to other people? To me, they're accepting, but to other people they are not, because they don't know. Now I'm the only queer person that they know, allegedly, who's out to them. But then if they were to pass by a protest, or if they were to just like meet another queer person who they don't know anything about, they didn't already form a relationship with, would they be okay with having a conversation with that person? Right? So it's really about pulling apart, stripping down what your beliefs are. Beliefs is a theme, shows up for all three of the stacks, but I think that makes sense because of like things that drain your energy. I don't know. Anyway, do your beliefs align with the beliefs of the people in your inner circle? And if they don't, what are you willing to accept versus what are you not willing to accept? What is a deal breaker versus what is not? Finally being able to face people and be like, this is actually not okay for me. I've acted like it's okay, but now I'm at my breaking point. So that's what sucks too. Spirit doesn't want for you to have been at your breaking point, but I think a lot of you are like kind of at that point, or especially as you start thinking about things more, it's like, oh yeah, you realize this is a breaking point for me. So now it's like you need to know, and there's pressure on needing to know answers right now for your safety and your well-being. Okay, first card that felt like being pulled. Page of Swords in reverse. Yeah, with this, it feels like immediately I heard things are being left unsaid. So you're not fully being truthful. You're not fully expressing yourself, who you are, but also like what you think about things. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people have conversations with you and let's say they start talking about something and they think you'll agree with them, or they think that they can convince you otherwise, and you just like keep quiet and you're like, oh, okay, and like you let people believe certain things. Spirit wants you to provide more pushback. They don't want for you to just be a wallflower to sit idly by. They want for you, even if that means losing friendships over, you know, it's like, is it worth it at this point? Is this even a true friendship? Because they wouldn't accept the real me. There's another one. Is that one? Does it want to be put back in? Yeah, it does. Okay. 3C. What information do they need to know about what is draining their energy? For sure this one. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, so I think for a lot of you, it's like you have this... Well, first of all, for some of you, this is going to be very few of you. Maybe you rely on family for financials, so that's something to consider, and you'll have to weigh out those options. Or like a parent is paying for your college, so you don't want to say anything because maybe they'll stop paying for your college, like loan and like the loans that were taken out if you say anything. So for some reason, finances could be involved here, but I think for most of you, I'm getting the feeling that's not even the reason why. When I pull this, it makes me think that you maybe have these rose-colored glasses on of how your family is. And I think a lot of you are very much, how do you explain it? Like fixers or repairers, or you just try to see the good in everybody and everything. And you try to be very flowery about it, right? So that's why you can be very passive. So you have this idea of, oh, well, like, this is something, it's okay. It's just that person's old. Like, of course they understand. Or, oh, like this thing is good about them, even though there's 20 times the amount of things they do that are actually really awful. But I see the good in them and their family. I think a lot of you could also be tied up in the whole concept of blood runs thicker than water. Is that how it goes? Blood's thicker than water, where you place so much emphasis on family. So it's like I used to be like this when I was younger. Whenever, like, there's a therapist I went to, and whenever, sorry mom if you're watching this, whenever she would bring up my mom and maybe some criticisms of my mom, I'd be like, no, I love my mom. She's perfect. She had to do what she had to do. You know what I'm saying? I bring that up because I think a lot of you could suffer from, yeah, just viewing certain family members in a way that isn't true to reality, or being passive because you're like, well, this person birthed me, or like this person, either way, they're just family. So I have to love them. So I have to be okay with things they do, even if I don't actually agree, or if I don't want to be accepting of it. So I'll just pretend I'm accepting, or I'll just not say anything. So that's just something to consider. And that's how it can be draining too. It's like you're making up all these excuses on other people's behalfs, other people's reasoning. It's like, oh, well, this is why it's okay for me to still interact with this friend, this college friend I've had for many years. This is why it's okay. And they were there for me in this, you know what? It's like maybe there were people in your life were there for you in low moments. But I actually think if you really think about it and like reflect and look back, it's like, were they there for you willingly, or were they just there for you because they also felt like they needed to be, because they had to be a friend, or because of being family? Maybe they didn't actually treat you with kindness in certain vulnerable moments in your life, but you're just like interpreting it as, oh, they showed up for me. Just something to consider. Does that one want to come out? I think it does. Ace of Swords. Look at that. Page of Swords and Ace of Swords. Like pages and aces in tarot, very similar, if not pretty much the same a lot of the time energy for me. So that's just further saying there's a lack of proper and healthy communication where you let things slide for whatever reasons that you have. And Spirit doesn't want for you to do that anymore. And also Ace of Swords can just indicate cutting people out of your life. And you'll feel a lot less drained when you have certain people who are no longer in your life. You don't have to worry about pleasing them or anything. Does that card want to come out? I'm gonna put it back in. So you see, there's the cards that keep wanting to like maybe be pulled out, but then I put them back in. So I wonder if it's just because it's similar energy to what I've been saying, but there's maybe a certain card that wants to come out that adds a different layer that we haven't seen yet. I'm not quite sure. We shall see. Or maybe it's because they were in reverse or in the upright when they should have been all the way around. That happens sometimes. I'm hearing that I pretty much got the message across. Maybe that's also why. It's like there's no really further messaging that needs to show up here. But I feel like this... it's happening again. Okay, let me turn around. Is that it? Okay, I turned it around. I feel like that's it. Judgment. There. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. For this, it makes me think... not that you don't think critically enough, but you just don't think deeply enough about other people's words and actions and how they impact you. And the same could be said for you as well. Maybe you participate in some of this family bond toxicity as well. Who knows? But with Judgment, Spirit is saying you don't do enough critical thinking, I guess you could say, in regards to your family dynamics. You just further clarifies that you overlook things or you try to make excuses for people. And that's very draining when you have to keep doing that. So Spirit is saying it's okay to provide pushback to people when they say things that you disagree with or to do things that upset you. If something upsets you, do not be afraid to speak it. Don't just try to keep the peace. Spirit's like, you need to be able to use your words, and you need to be able to effectively convey how you're feeling. Don't just be like, oh, this upset me a little bit, but it's okay, you don't have to worry about it. You know, be like, no, like, this upset me and here's why. And if you are given pushback, you need to be able to find the strength to carry on in those tough conversations and discussions or heated disagreements, so that you don't have to make yourself small and like not provide pushback. Because that, with keeping yourself small, that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't even help the other person. It just makes them feel like they have the upper hand, that they have power, that they're right, even when they're not. So really, don't be afraid to stand up for what's right. Don't be afraid to speak your mind and say when something's upsetting you, communicate in that way. Even though it can be draining in and of itself to build that muscle of being able to properly communicate your wants and needs. But once you get the hang of it, it will get to the point of it won't be draining. It would be empowering for you. Even if you feel like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Now that we had this discussion, I wasn't wrong. Then guess what? That leads to a healthier relationship dynamic than to what would have been present moving forward if you didn't say anything, even if it's something small, because the small things truly do build up. So don't just think things are small little things. Things build up. Yeah, so important. I keep wanting to say it, important to think about. So I think there's a lot of thinking here that Spirit wants you to do more of before you take action. It's like, you can just think about it. Just think about it. Think about what you'd say in this situation, right? Because maybe you're afraid you won't be correct or something. You're afraid you'll be in the wrong. Something also is being okay with, like, telling yourself, it's okay if I'm wrong. It's about learning and doing better. I feel like there might be another card that wants to be pulled. These cards are about the energy you should embody moving forward. So we have in the 9th house. That's crazy because, okay, I was going to say, I pulled 2 for y'all. I felt like pulling 2. The first 2 piles, the cards that were pulled for very different reasons, were Sagittarius. So that's crazy because in the 9th house is associated with Sagittarius. So that's, yeah, craziness. And then we have in Virgo. So here it says spiritual values, long-range thinking or travel, what is to be shared. Yes, don't be afraid to share your thoughts. Long-range thinking, don't be afraid to, like, sit and think about things. I know it can be upsetting to realize, like, oh, maybe this relationship dynamic isn't what I thought it was. And that's okay. It's okay to be upset by things. But in Virgo, it's about also viewing things from almost, Virgo can be very neutral, where it's like viewing things just for as they are. Okay. Do it in a big way, the philosophies and laws involved, and as it or they came from all there is. And then over here we have methods for the healing power of, the analyzing of. Yeah, you have to be more analytical with your relationships. Resulting from the perfectionism of. And I think you just want to be also this perfect person that people can rely on in relationships, but nobody's perfect. The serving of others, the details of, and do what you must do in. And I think the serving of is important too, because you want to be of service to other people, I think, that you care about. You want to be able to make them feel good, but making other people feel uplifted doesn't come from your downfall and from making you feel small. So that's something to consider with. In the 9th house, this is a very exploring house, but Virgo is very much like matter of fact. So explore your thoughts and then just be very matter of fact from them. Don't overthink. I mean, Virgo can be like that, but Virgo can also be being very analytical. The way this is coming across for your reading is just do what needs to be, do what you must do in. So you just have to do what you've got to do. Think of it like that. Like, I've made my decision. I've thought about it deeply. I've made my decision. And if people try to provide pushback to you, Virgo is very strong in their beliefs and in their stature. And so if people try to provide negative pushback or feedback to a Virgo, then Virgo will be like, no, I still, like, these are the facts that I provided for you. even if the facts are just, I feel this way when you do this, you know? It's like, this is my truth, and I stand firm in that. And so that's something Spirit wants for you to do, to consider. Also, Judgment is a card. Is Judgment Libra? No, Judgment is something else, isn't it? I need to look at what the cards mean again. Like, what the astrological ties are to tarot. I always forget. I get things, except for the ones that are like the Devil's Capricorn. Scorpio is death. Aquarius is the star. Pisces is the moon. I always think of the sun as Leo, even though it's strength. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, you just have to be strong. Because once you truly explore your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, even if you end up getting swayed, Virgo is able to look at things from an analytical and practical and logical point of view. So once you build up the courage, and you also are able to start having more of these tough conversations, Virgo is strong. And also Virgo is good at keeping the pace is what I want to say, but they're good at, even if there's difficulty starting something, once you get going, it becomes easier over time. So that's just something Spirit is saying again. You'll become stronger over time and less negatively impacted by other people's reactions, and you'll just accept other people's reactions as that reactions, that you don't have to always take things super personally, because I think a lot of y'all probably do take things very personally. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to end on a little bit of a read there, but I hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful. You can like the video, you can comment down below if you resonate with this stack, and you can update your comments sometime in the future if there are any updates you would like to provide for us all. You can subscribe to my channel. You can check out my ASMR channels linked down below. I have plenty of other timeless pick-a-card readings and collective readings on my channel, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, 3C. Bye-bye.